Can Saquon Barkley return to his once generational form, and does that start tonight? That and more on the Run the Sims podcast. I'm your host, Adam Wilde. The injury segment is actually pretty lengthy today, so I'm just going to go by who we have projected in for you guys. So Saquon Barkley is projected to play. Devonta Booker, we're also projecting to play. Sterling Shepard has already been ruled out. Dante Pettis is out for the season. Caden Smith was limited. We have him projected out. Scotty Miller is projected to play. He opened up his 21-day window for coming off of IR. Antonio Brown is expected to be out. And it looks like Gronk is expected to play. He was limited on Saturday. The assumption there is that that was for maintenance. So we have the New York Giants heading to take on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is minus 11 in this game. But we have a healthy total of 49.5. So let's go over here to the optimal results and see what we've got. No ownership yet today. So Tom Brady is in 59.6% of the flex, 16.9% at captain for 76.4% total. Daniel Jones is right behind him, 50% in the flex, 13% in the captain, 63% total. Leonard Fournette, 41% in the flex, 13% in the captain. Godwin, 36 in the flex, 13 at captain. So you're noticing the captain spread out pretty evenly among the top four and really five, as Kadarius Toney ends up being 9% in captain. So 35% in the flex for Kadarius Toney, 9% in captain. And even Saquon Barkley is a respectable 7% at captain, 30% in the flex. And that's mostly just because he's 7,800. That's a little cheap for him. Kenny Golladay, 32% in the flex, 8% in the captain. Gronk, 28% in the flex, 5% at captain. Mike Evans, 25% in the flex, 5% captain. Darius Slayton, 19% in the flex, 2% of captain. So you're noticing a trend here where the New York players, this is kind of like a couple slates ago, the New York players are actually projecting reasonably well in terms of point per dollar against their Tampa Bay counterparts, and they're going to be the less owned of the bunch because where quarterback ownership goes, team ownership goes. So Tom Brady is probably going to be incredibly owned, probably close to 70, like we saw with Justin Herbert last night. And Daniel Jones will hover more around 40 probably, which is less than what we have him projected to be in optimal lineups. So it'll be another interesting slate to try to target the New York Giants players like we did with the San Francisco players a few slates ago, and then just hope that you hit on the last four, your punt play, your 20% play. Tyler Johnson, 17%, 1.9% at captain. Giovanni Bernard, 18%, 0.7 at captain. Evan Ingram, 13%, 1.2 at captain. And then we'll go down and try to find someone interesting. I mean, we have our kickers only appearing in 7% or 7% and 4% respectively. So Ryan Suckup 7%, Grant Goodwin 4%. Maybe not a kicker day. Kyle Rudolph only projected at 5%, so he's 2,200. That's a little bit expensive given his usage of late. John Ross is almost in 10% of lineup, so he might be a reasonable play at 400. Let's see what he's projected for when we get to the projections. We won't be building DraftKings lineups again today. Probably will for the Thursday slate. So we're going to go through a few more of the custom lineups today, just like we did yesterday. We've got Daniel Jones at captain to start us off with Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, Leonard Fournette. So just like I expected, you're going to see a lot of Giants on slots on this slate from Run the Sims. And it's just because from a point per dollar perspective, the Giants players are just better and they're going to be less owned. So you just really need to hit on your one or two Tampa Bay players if you're going to keep going with 4x2s and 5x1s with the Giants. The next lineup we have is Kenny Golladay, Leonard Fournette, Giovanni Bernard, Daniel Jones, Kadarius Toney, and Tom Brady. I actually like paying up for somebody besides Tom Brady, or actually, if you can get rid of Giovanni Bernard, it's nice to stack your running back with your quarterback, and then if they connect for a touchdown, you've got pretty decent leverage there. So if you run a 4x2 with Kenny Golladay, Daniel Jones, Kadarius Toney, Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, and then swap Giovanni Bernard over to say any Giants player that he fits near. So let's go back and see how much we're paying for Giovanni Bernard. So Giovanni Bernard's 1,800. So I mean, around 1,800, you could be playing, I don't know, John Ross maybe, and just leave a lot of salary on the table. Kyle Rudolph maybe, if you really wanted to go with Kyle Rudolph, even though he's not the best play. But the point is, if you can turn this lineup into a 4x2 with Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette as the only two run backs for Tampa Bay, pretty nice lineup. You got Chris Godwin at captain for the next lineup. Leonard Fournette, Giovanni Bernard, Darius Slayton, Tom Brady, Daniel Jones. So we're seeing a lot of Kenny Golladay captains, a lot of Chris Godwin captains. So let's try to get away from that. We've got Kadarius Toney. This is a frequency of 10 as well. So still a fantastic lineup. Kadarius Toney at captain, Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Giovanni Bernard, Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley. It's a 3x3, but it seems to be still relatively contrarian. It's also 50,000, so that seems like more of a cash lineup. You like to pay down at your quarterback and just or pay down at your captain. Just hope you get a touchdown or a long catch from Kadarius Toney in your cash lineups, and then Leonard Fournette at captain. Another probably cash play, but this is a frequency of 10. Leonard Fournette at captain, Saquon Barkley, Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Ryan Suckup, Giovanni Bernard. You've got a kicker in there. You've got a lot of floor plays, some guaranteed touches. So I don't mind that lineup for cash either. Darius Slayton's probably a pretty good tournament play. So Darius Slayton at captain, Chris Godwin, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, Tom Brady, Daniel Jones. As far as 3x3s go, I like that lineup. At least 200 on the table. That's pretty solid too. Darius Slayton seems like he's a little too cheap on this slate relative to players that are usually around 3,800. And we'll see if we can find one more that's pretty unique down here. So we've got a Rob Gronkowski at captain. You know how everyone loves those tight ends on Showdown slates now. So Rob Gronkowski at captain, Tom Brady, Darius Slayton, Kenny Golladay, Chris Godwin, and Daniel Jones. So let's get to projections and then get out of here. Tom Brady is projected for 24, so that's huge. That's why he's going to be like 70% owned, even though his salary is 11,200, because that's 4 more points than anybody else on the slate. Daniel Jones is projected 20. Leonard Fournette 19, Chris Godwin 18, Evans, Barkley both 15, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay both 14, but Kadarius Toney's slightly cheaper, saves you 200, so it's a toss up. Rob Gronkowski's projected 12. Then you have a pretty big drop off again. Evan Ingram projected 8, Tyler Johnson 8, Ryan Suckup 8, Darius Slayton 8. So Darius Slayton's by far the cheapest and probably the least owned of those 4. So I like Darius Slayton a lot out of that group of players. Graham Gano at 6. Bucks 6.6, but Bucks are all the way up at 5,200. So I don't know how you're going to get contrarian playing $5,200 Bucks when they're still going to be owned. So I don't know about that. Giovanni Bernard 6, Ronald Jones 4.3, Devontae Booker 3.5, Giants 3.3. And then you get down here to like everyone down here is around 3. So Kyle Rudolph, John Ross. So, why are you playing $2,200 Kyle Rudolph when you can play $400 John Ross, get the chance at like a long catch and leave a ton of salary on the table to be unique, So I'll probably have a lot of John Ross and not a lot of Kyle Rudolph. That's going to conclude today's show. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you listening along, and good night with your Monday night show. Good luck with your Monday night showdown. Peace.